Thank you, Brother Joe. Right, it is Buckland Brewer Parish Council meeting, 7 o'clock we start. Welcome to the one and only at the moment. My name's George Haywood. I'm vice chair really, but our chairman is not here tonight, so I am acting chair as for this evening only. Can we have apologies for absence? Richard Hooper's gives apologies. Sally Cole's very poorly, so she's not coming. She didn't want to spread the bug. Any other apologies? Mr. Phil Ainsworth. Is that allowed, Madam Clerk? He's supposed to ask you if it's allowed for... Yes. Is that okay? Right, thank you.
Yes.
Right. Declaration of interest. Not that I can see. Anyone got any declarations of interest? No. Brilliant. Minutes of the meeting of the Parish Council held on the 8th and the 30th, so it's 2 minutes. Here, anyone? They are a bit late to arrive on the for the 30th one. So, has everyone had time to browse through it, or do we wish to delay them, or what? There is a couple of things that I've picked up. On correspondence, clerk's report correspondence, V1, 2V1, reference the laptop. I stated PC didn't know, Parish Council didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about it. But also, Councillor Watson said first he heard of it as well. On that, which is, if he agrees, then that should be, if I mentioned, then that should be, I think, minuted. There is another one on 122.
Can you just go back to the...
Yeah.
What are you actually saying is missing, or...
Well, you've got me down as saying that the Parish Council didn't know anything about it. Well, I'd have forgotten about it, but there was nothing I remember was passed or discussed about on the laptop. And I mentioned it last time, and you've got me minuted as saying that what I had said has been gifted by the chair. Didn't know, but that had been gifted. Councillor Watson also stated that at the meeting that he didn't know anything about it either. As well as what? Or can't remember. It was Councillor Mills stated that he had remembered it. So I just wanted it corrected.
To say that...
Councillor Watson didn't know either, or can't remember, or whatever. So probably my memory's bad, so...
Okay.
And also, on 122, the second dot, Councillor Haywood commented that only a very low percent of parish, you got councillors live stream, but I meant parish councils. There are very few percentage of parish councils live streamed. Excuse my slowness. Right, that was the only things that I got on about it. Now, as I must reiterate, has everyone had time to go through this to your happiness that you wish me to sign them off as correct? If not, we may have to, if possible, hold them over. You're fine.
I mean, it wasn't rushed, but yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I struggled, but, you know, I'll let it go this time.
Sure? Right, so it's okay if I sign these off now with the alterations that I wanted, if the clerk is willing to do it, that I sign them off as accurate minutes of the meeting on the 8th. Right, that's that one. Now we move on to the 30th. The short meeting we had. Any comments about that? Do you wish me to sign off as a correct and accurate précis of that meeting? Yeah.
Otherwise it was very quick.
Trev, how are you doing?
I'm all right for that one.
I'm like you, my brain don't work very fast these days, so. Right. So do you wish me to sign them paperwork here, Joe, or afterwards? Sign the paper?
Well, do you want the person on it? Or are you going to have,
You must tell me what you wish to do.
Well, you can either annotate that copy and then sign it, or I'll need to print another copy for you.
If you could print another copy, it'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
If that's all right.
So it won't be done tonight, that's all. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But the 8th one I'm signing off.
Yeah, fine.
Thank you. What's the date today? It must be here somewhere.
It's
13th. 23, right. Okay. Public participation. Thank you. Clerk's report, please.
Okay. Oops. Okay, right. A couple of quick updates just for everybody's benefit. I've put some of these notes on correspondence anyway, so the councillors will have seen these anyway. I have started drafting some questions for the public consultation piece. Obviously, we haven't had a discussion or anything, but I've just started the ball rolling. So if you can start thinking about other topics that you want to be included, and then I can start collating, and then, you know, we can then have a discussion about what stays in, what else has to be added, etc., etc., and then start talking about the process and the timescale. I sent over a quick summary regarding the website. Actually, in the last hour or so, I have had a proposal through, but I've not had a chance to read it properly. So I've just provided you with details of some of the discussions to date. I know that quite a few parishioners have requested or talked about having extra dog bins within the parish. But unfortunately, I've contacted Torridge, and the council isn't installing any dog bins anywhere at the moment. So we're on a list, but whether we'll ever get to the top of the list, who knows? But that's all in abeyance.
Joe, may I interrupt? Forgive
Yeah.
me if it's poor protocol. What's the cost of these things? Forgive me being
For the dog bins?
dog bins per unit. Do we know?
We've never been charged anything for them as far as I can see.
Okay.
Whether you would be going forward, I guess it will come into next year and all the rules may be slightly different, who knows.
Yeah.
But I haven't found anything relating to costs associated with
I was
that.
just thinking about budget, but if we don't know,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Do we actually pay for them, or does Torridge pay for them and they expect money from us?
Not as far as I know. I think it's all just part of the waste collection
So
budget,
Torridge
and it's
pay-
just
now
rolled into
Torridge
that.
Pay and install it.
Yeah, yeah. But as I say, who knows for next year? It might all be different, and that's why it's all stopped.
We pay for the dog bins, don't we? I think,
It is on Trevor.
yeah. We pay for the dog bins, but the waste bins are usually, or have been, fitted for us.
Well, I haven't found anything that suggests we've ever had an invoice for one,
No.
because I did trawl through. So I don't know, but I mean, it was back a while, so might have missed it. But
How much?
anyway, it's all academic because we can't have one.
Yeah.
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 I just went, how many dog bins have we got in the parish?
Yeah, I just put a tentative inquiry out saying, could we have one, and if so, what would the cost be? And the comment was just no. So
I think they're all in the village or around the There's none over it.
No.
Not that I know by, no.
No. Thornhill Head was one of the ones,
Oh,
wasn't it? There?
is it? Oh,
Yeah. No, that was requested. That,
that's one.
yeah. And we've also had requests for litter bins, but that will be down to the council and budgets next year, I guess, anyway, if we choose to do that, and we would have to empty them ourselves. Right, we had the preset tax base through, so I forwarded that on. It hasn't gone up a great deal since last year, despite all the houses. I've put a note out on Facebook already about advance notice of a road closure. It's not until the end of, 22nd of January, so it will go out on all the other communication means, but we've had notice of that.
Sorry, I missed that. What was
A
that?
road closure.
Oh,
Road
road
closure
closure,
in
right,
Frittlestock.
Yeah.
Frittlestock.
So I've already had it on there, advertised in the press. I saw it there last week.
Ah, right, okay, yeah. Dolk, I've just received an email, again about an hour ago. Dolk had apparently presented some information at the annual conference that you and Jane and Dave, you went to, didn't you? They've had a rethink and they've realised it's too low because they need to employ more staff. So they have just advised that the cost for Buckland Brewer's subscription will go up by £84. So 40% increase, and it'll be £295 next year.
Sorry, does that affect our budget?
It will affect next year's.
Next year, not this year?
Yeah, not this year's. No,
Fine.
this is for the 24-25 subscription.
Thank you, sorry, thank you.
Okay, we've had a notification that motorbikes have been used in Thornhill Head more. We did have a problem just prior to me starting this role, and so I was aware of it because it was sort of the tail end of it. But we don't have any reports as to who's actually doing it to be able to engage anybody and actually talk to anyone. So hopefully if it happens again, we will get more information. And I know last time the PCSO was asked to get involved from Devon and Cornwall Police. So we'll just have to monitor and see what happens. And I've also had a report of horse riders in the amenity field. Now, I've not seen it personally, and I don't know who's doing it. So again, we'll have to just monitor the situation.
Is there any signs of horses?
Well, I see horses go up and down the road frequently, but I thought they just went up and down the road. So I don't know if it's the same people going up and down the road and into the field.
Which
or
road
whether-
are you talking about? Sorry.
Amenity field.
Sorry?
The amenity field.
That's the bottom one.
Hill Park. Bottom of Hill Park.
Actually go in around the houses, do they?
Yeah, they go round the cul-de-sac, and I thought they just went round the cul-de-sac. So they may well be doing that, and it may be other horse riders going into the field, but seemingly there have been horse riders around the field. Well, it's so marshy and it's like a quagmire, so I don't know that you'd notice at the moment. Probably when it dries out, you might see it.
I talked to one of the women that rides, so I mean, I can ask her. I know it's but I'll ask her because she might know.
Yeah. So if we can find out, it'd be useful and have a quiet conversation. I've also forwarded an email that a parishioner had sent. She'd contacted myself, Richard and George regarding the new footpath onto Northwood Lane. So there were issues cited regarding safety. So I have responded. But essentially, this footpath has been approved as part of the planning process for the Allison Homes development. It's been on all the plans for a very long time, certainly well over 12 months, and it's already complete virtually. So I'm waiting just to find out whether there will be a safety barrier, which I think is standard anyway, because it's going to join a lane that is used by vehicles. But I've not had confirmation of that yet. But as soon as I've got that, I'll let her know.
But they're not allowed to put water on that, from that footpath onto that road, that's got to be drained away on new development. Well, I'll have a look, see what the way the slope is going. But any new roads put on any roads, they cannot put surface water down someone else's road.
Well, it shouldn't bring any surface water because it's just a
It just depends which way he's running. I think he should be running the correct way, just away from it. But I will check and have a look anyway. Yeah.
Just, you might be interested to know that the parish council voted against that development.
Yeah.
And always have. So, then the parishioners might realise that it's not nothing to do with the parish council.
Yeah.
It's Torridge District
Yeah.
who passed it.
I must admit, I thought the tone of the mail was a little feisty, shall we say, a little accusatory. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the parish council was always robustly against that development. So.
Yeah. So, I responded, prior to seeing that email that had gone through to George. But
so we wait from Allinson Homes about the safety issue of whatever you call it.
Just the safety barrier, yeah.
Down like opposite the pub.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that's
I mean, I'm not even sure if the bank is broken through yet. Is anybody? Is it? Oh, okay.
The pathway, talking about the drainage, the pathway actually sort of drains off towards South of Meadows.
Yeah, after the first 5 metres, yes. But the rest of the top end, I'm only being nitpicking. But,
So,
It'll be a lot better and a lot safer, won't it? Once you've got those barriers there, do you know what I mean?
that's it.
Yeah.
Fine.
Where are you talking about putting the barriers then?
You know, like we've got down the pub.
Down the bottom.
That's it,
Yeah.
just like that. Yeah, half an hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop them kind of running.
Hurtling out.
Straight as through.
Bikes and
You got it. You
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can't ride the motorbikes up and down there.
Yeah.
Well, in theory.
Don't overreact.
Don't tempt fate.
Or horses. There have been 2 field tenders received, so those will be covered in the Part 2 meeting. And the final thing is, we did have a complaint from a parishioner about a councillor, so in accordance with the procedures, that was escalated to the monitoring officer, and that is not staying within the council. So that's all done as well. And I think that's it.
Any comments?
Oh, yeah, I just wondered, was there any news of when we're going to meet with Alison Holmes? Won't be after
No, I'm just waiting to find out when. It'll be in the new year anyway, because of I forgot his name. He'd broken his ankle. He's not allowed. Pardon?
I know exactly
Yeah.
what you mean.
Yeah, I can think. Because he's broken his ankle, he's not actually allowed on sites at them until he's out of plaster. So it was waiting on him, really. So I've not heard whether he's out of plaster yet, but it will be the new year. And it'll be a site visit.
Any further? Right. Correspondence dealt with. Updates, I suppose that's done in that. Okay. 144. Decision regarding the use of a grant received for emergency planning in 2022, specifically whether to purchase an emergency generator immediately or to seek formal permission for change of use towards the cost of a bus shelter. How much was the grant for? Do you remember?
2,000, wasn't it?
2000.
2,000, about 2,350, I think, from memory. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Any comments then?
how much would be a bus shelter?
We've got the quotes. We've got.
Joe sent out an email with all these various bus shelters on, ranging from 10,000 quid down to I think it's about 3.5.
Yeah, I gave you the deluxe model
Yeah.
and the. That was, I mean, to be fair, that was only one company. It was only an indicator, just to give a flavour.
Talking to somebody that I live with who doesn't quite like the cheaper version, says it would not be in fitting of a village to have what looks like it should be in the town, and I sort of agree really. But
If,
parish council.
I'm so sorry, I thought you finished, I beg your pardon.
No, sorry, I was stammering a little bit there, sorry Jane. But the Ken Ground one would be ridiculous to spend money like that on. So if we could have a look at other ones, that would be obviously better.
There's some nice ones that Frymeton Parish Council installed some time ago, which look fairly basic, but they look fine.
Where are we going to put it?
Ex-
What
Well-
consent do we need?
Well, that's
Do we
something
need
I-
planning permission? If we're going to get the bus to pick up there, we will need to liaise with Devon
It's going to
County.
be sort of dual purpose as well, because people from Tuckers Park come over and use the post office, and it's a good place for them to stand when it is. So it's a
Understood.
dual purpose.
Just for the purposes of this is about, do you still want to buy a generator? Because we need to spend that money. That is critical. Otherwise, it's got to go back. So we've either got to make a decision, because it was decided a little while ago to buy a generator, but we haven't bought a generator. And I don't know whether that is still the favoured option, but given that a bus shelter has been mentioned, if we want to ask whether we can have a change of use for that money, now is the time to do it.
Is it going to be a fly in the ointment? I'm trying to think, who did the grant for the generator come from?
Our
Torridge
emergency plan.
It was for the emergency plan. It was specifically for a generator,
Yeah, but whose
and it was
money
from
was it?
it was district councillor grant.
So it's district council money.
Yeah.
So we would need to ask the district council whether we could reassign it
Yes.
to a project that is
Yes.
possibly a highways thing,
Yes.
which is
Well, no,
Devon
it's not
County.
highways. It's definitely not highways. I've already established that. Highways don't have an interest in it at all.
So can I just ask, sorry, you say it's not highways, so who pays for all the bus shelters in all the towns, villages all over the country then?
The county council paid for our bus shelter, the one that we've got at the moment. That money came from the county
That was the grant
council.
as well?
That was a grant,
Fine,
wasn't it?
okay.
Well, it was grant from county council.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
fine.
who built that?
that I can't tell you. I know that the majority
Eh?
of them.
people,
Yeah.
It was the shed people.
Cadstone.
Okay.
Oh, right,
Gotcha.
so it was done by a professional...
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's,
Yeah.
that's sort of nice.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, could it be shipped?
Can we move it?
Quite big, isn't it?
It is quite big.
Quite a big
Can I,
building.
yeah,
Before you...
yeah, go on. Yes.
Before you get too
Excited.
far into this, where are you going to put it?
Yeah.
Because down by where the post office van stops now, the roads and the stuff, the pavement's not wide enough.
Yeah.
You'll get them queuing up. What happens to mothers and with couple of toddlers and to pass the...
I agree with you there, Trevor, but I didn't know that grass verge where the poo bin is, for example. Who owns that grass verge?
Probably the house behind.
Do they actually, where the poo bin is? They've got a poo bin on their land.
So
I wouldn't be surprised.
which side of the telephone kiosk are you talking
I
about?
don't
Looking,
know.
as you look at the telephone kiosk,
Yeah.
to the right of the telephone
Where
kiosk,
the dog bin is.
where the dog bin is.
Oh, the dog bin, is it?
When you've got the post box just slightly up.
Yeah, so that bit of verge there, who owns that verge there?
Well, what I've also done is I've also engaged with Torridge Council with planning, and I've asked them to just have a look at it and actually let me know whether they have got an interest in it and whether we would have to go for full planning consent to put a bus shelter in. So it's gone for pre-planning so that a planning officer is just going to have a look at it and give us some guidance.
I still think that we need to involve Devon County Council, because if it is proposed that the bus is going to stop there, then we're talking about a bus stopping across the junction. Potentially, I think that there are traffic issues there, and I think
It's
that
not
we
on the
need-
junction.
It's not on the
It's not on the junction. Where are you?
Sorry, it is, right on where the telephone box
Oh, well,
is.
this is for the school children, isn't it?
It would be a little bit further down from that.
But you still-
You're not in within 20 yards of the junction, you're allowed to stop.
Yeah, but there's also this matter of blocking. All I'm saying is that you would
You'd
need
be
also to
in
clear it
between
with.
Southwood Meadows and the junction with,
So,
junction,
Southwood.
Yeah, but there has to be a minimum distance, I
20
think.
yards.
Yeah, not from the junction also, but it's a case of if the bus is stopping, about other traffic being out. All I'm saying is that we would need to involve them.
Where the post office van is, that's where the bus could stop.
Yeah, but the bus is bigger than the post van.
But it's only stopping momentarily, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's got to stop long enough to ensure the safety of
But they're
passengers
stopping at the
getting on and off.
But they're stopping there at the moment.
What, the bus?
Yes,
Well, he
school
should.
buses and that are stopping there now.
Right
but
right beside the telephone box there, yeah. But, so,
And the other bus stops there, so with the bus stop station.
Yeah,
Bus
yeah.
shelter. Outside there.
But
so we're talking about putting an extra, so if a bus stops where the bus shelter is now, you say a bus stops where the bus shelter is,
Yeah,
so
but
we're
nobody
talking
uses
about,
the bus thing.
sorry?
Nobody uses the bus shelter.
Really?
Are they going to use the one where he's on the road, the main road then?
Well, I guess it would be more easier to do it. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's not-
but you've got the health and safety issue Councillor Mills is on about.
Yeah, oh,
The only other way, you know where the big van always parks? On the village green, which I presume we own, do we, the Parish Council?
Yeah, we own the village green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could put them there, which as you look at the post telephone box, on the left, you could put it there, you lose a traffic parking area. You could put them there, dig it level.
The post office don't like that idea. It's difficult for old age pensioners to get into the
Post office van could
post
stop
office.
there.
Yeah, no, I wasn't talking about down there. As you look at the telephone box, to the left,
Well, it's on a slope, George, isn't it?
I know there'd have to be a bit of digging, I know that. But if you wanted to, because I can't see it being allowed to put unless you've got no sides to it,
yeah.
put a bus shelter on a pavement. You got the health and safety issue that you was bringing up about
I
kids.
agree with that. And that's why I was asking about the grass verge that was between Southwood Meadows and...
It's only the width that it's on, isn't it?
They're not very wide, and that grass
No, I mean,
verge, when I looked at it...
grass verge is only, well,
Half a metre, isn't
3 foot, that's right, maximum.
Foot,
Yeah,
maybe.
but these...
those shelters are only about that themselves.
So I said the shelters aren't much more than that.
Yeah.
So it could be tucked back in, you've still got your whole
Seen the one
pavement.
over from the start.
Sorry?
They are different.
They're different ones, they're different ones. So if, like I said, if you had one with no sides, then anybody with, can walk underneath it.
Yeah.
Because they go on the pavements and
So therefore, like that, if we allow for people to walk there as well as a bit of rain, to be honest, I can't see much rain being stopped by one bit of, but anyway, that's
So it's
irrelevant.
basically an umbrella.
Exactly.
If it's glazed, the
buy some
roadside, it'll stop the westerns belting down.
Yeah, I know that.
Depending on which way the wind
Yeah.
is going. that's
So
as well.
we've got to make a decision. We've got to make a decision. Do we hope we can squeeze a bus shelter, an extra bus shelter, within, what are they, 25 metres apart? Extra bus shelter in that people can walk underneath, so it is not a health and safety hazard to pavement walkers, elderly or young, or very old like myself, that can walk through.
May I?
And then we can ask for the money to be transferred, that we don't lose it, to
Well,
this.
otherwise we're going to lose it, aren't we?
I
Go
think forgive me, I don't think perhaps it's the other way around. We're panicking in making a decision that perhaps we don't need to make tonight. What we're asking, and I think what's on here is, do we ask our clerk to get some sort of formal consent that we can actually divert these monies?
Do it.
Because if the answer is no,
That's
then
your
we're
answer.
all
Jiggered.
flogging a dead horse. So maybe that's the first stage. That enables us to hang on to that money a little bit.
But we have to say specifically what it is
Yeah,
and when,
indeed.
and when we will be in a position to spend
Who can
it.
we get to have a look at this? Dan,
Yeah,
where is it?
I think it needs looking
It
at.
does need looking at. I agree
Well,
with Trevor.
Planning will come back with an indication as to whether we need consent. And
Do we have a timescale with that?
well, soon I hope. They're pretty good at
So
turning
once
things
we've got,
round.
Like Trevor said, I think that's absolutely right. We need to be looking at whether we can do this
That's it.
further.
Yeah, that's
And then we can go to stage 2, can't can't we? Sorry.
Do you have a timetable? Sorry, David. Do you have a time scale of when we've got to say we don't want the money, or can we transfer it, please?
Well, the money should have been spent least March this year. We've had it since March 2022. So we are being chased constantly.
Well, they need to put it in their budget, so could we, I know this is tremendously cheeky, they want it for budgeting reasons.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Can we not ask for another 12 months?
Extension.
Because
No.
if it's in their budget, they won't give us 12 months.
No.
Can you just ask if
we've had 18 months already nearly.
Can we just
More
ask
than
then if
18
we can, if they will allow us to reallocate it? That'll give us a bit delay, and also implement the inquiry about the bus shelter Councillor Mills wants.
Yeah, but they've got to approve the purpose.
Well, can we ask that if they'll approve, if that would be approved for it?
For a bus shelter?
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
I think also the first question should be, we ask the bus company where they can stop. That will save a lot.
But it's more than one bus stop.
You know, that would well, we got
One at a time.
the main one.
But all the kids' buses, they're all different. Several of them.
Several companies, 2 or 3 companies.
Yeah.
I could probably they will stop. The kids will be there underneath the bus shelter, and the bus is going to stop where the kids are, aren't they?
They'll stop anywhere.
Highways will be able to tell us if it's legal that a bus can stop in between those 2 points. And from my other hat on, as long as it's not stopping and causing obstruction 20 yards from a junction.
Well, it was parked across the junction when I. The thing is, well, originally we were going to use that money for a generator. Do we still want a generator?
Well, I would suggest that we haven't decided finally where it's going to go. Where, if you had it up here, where are you good people going to allow for the generator to be parked? What size generator? There's no need to spend £10,000 on a generator. We can pick up second-hand one for 1,500.
But we were on about a smaller generator, which could have been got for that 2,500, wouldn't it? I thought.
Well, you can get you got whatever. So then, if it's down in the village hall where helicopters land and take people away in emergency or whatever, we've got to ask permission of the village hall people. I don't know if it has been.
That's already been rejected at least once.
That's been rejected. So there is no generator going down there.
We've already asked that question once.
That's what I asked.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't.
It's a long
realise
time ago, but it was. I think it was before I even took the job.
The hole hasn't got the storage either.
No.
That's another problem.
No.
What? Not beside the. Well, anyway, that's up to you guys. So therefore, it's going to be up here or nowhere.
But it was going to be a small one, wasn't it? It wasn't going to be a big thing.
All right. Well, you mean a little petrol one, 5 kilowatt, 5 kV, whatever it is, or 2 kV.
Was that? Yeah. Was that?
That won't drive very much.
But
They were-
That was portable, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was going to be a portable one, wasn't
Use
it?
it.
Other places. Yeah.
Would it get the use, do you think?
Hopefully
I
not.
doubt it.
Hopefully not.
But the only way you could possibly use it is if there was anything that required electric up at the playing field.
Well, that's going to be few and far between, isn't it?
Is there other people in the village that has a generator that we could ask for? I'm just trying to think of all the possibilities rather than wait if we don't need it.
I think the trouble is we've gone round this about the generation quite a few times, and this all went back to an emergency plan that Joe and I worked on that's never been signed off anyway, because we've never decided where we're going to have what we were going to use for a place of safety, if you like. And I think I thought we had all come to the decision that a generation was going to be like a noose around our necks for the parish council, to be honest.
So fine. So what you're saying that we ask if we're allowed to transfer it from a generator to a bus shelter. Fine. We all in favour?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Right.
See where that gets.
See where it's going. Thank you. 145. Decision whether to upgrade the software on the existing parish website or to purchase a new website and support package. Who would like to kick off on this?
Chair,
Jane?
I do have a proposal, and first and foremost, my apologies to the clerk, because really I should have found time to just run this past you, Joe.
And sorry, can I
that was
just,
really-
oh, no, just sorry. Joe, you've sent an email to us with the reasons why it's not up to it and we're breaking goodness knows what laws and all the rest of it. So what you're saying is the one we got now has got to be upgraded or done something with. We need something done. Is that what you're saying?
We absolutely need to do something with it
Fine.
because we've
Jane.
got no support.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jane.
I do have a proposal, and I hasten to say, and apologies, and I'm going to read from this because I just needed to collect my wits. It was a conversation I had 2-3 weeks ago, so I'll just present this, and I've got this in note form for the minutes if you want it.
But do the councillors need to see all this in advance then to
No,
make a decision?
I've only thought it through last night, and it's most specifically linked into this.
But is this going to enable a decision, or is it?
It should enable a decision.
I would, yes, whether we do a deferral or whatever, because we got to know what sort of money we'll be letting ourselves in for, and I haven't seen much whatever that. So let's just hear a few things of what.
I'll present it, and if you say, well, it doesn't enable anything, my apologies. But I think we all.
Sorry.
Sorry, can I just say, I was under the impression before I joined the parish council that this had already been decided a long, long time ago, that we would go for a new website.
May I?
I know what you're going to say, but just hear me out here. We have a system here that is 10 years old, and we've got to start moving with the times. And things break, and we are upgraded, and we need to move on. And I'll be interested to see your cost for what this is going to cost.
Well,
but
yeah.
I think we need to be upgrading and getting the computer system.
We can, if I may. We all know we must use a website, and there is no requirement for us as a parish council to use our own. But if we don't, we need an agreement to piggyback on somebody else's, e.g. Torridge District Council, which removes our own capabilities. We only need a website for mandatory stuff. The existing website is functional despite previous misgivings. It simply perhaps isn't being used. The platform is old in website terms. It's working off a platform called Joomla, which is 8 years old. But it is still, and I have spoken to an expert, it is still capable of delivering what is needed, if not what is desired. It needs upgrading. It needs a software spring clean and tidy. It currently costs £144 per annum. A few hours of IT work will make it perform in the way we want to. It's being monitored. It's still being monitored. Its firewalls are being managed. Nothing has changed. It's not ever been hacked. No checks were run on it since June 2023, but a recent inspection by the people hosting it confirmed this. Interestingly enough, the chair's mail account has not been hacked. No one's has. The issue with the chair's mail revolves around password security. The contact for our existing website is Henry Massey. He was the managing director of ClistNet, which is now running as a company called xsquared.co.net, and any mail directed to ClistNet would have and still will be picked up by the new firm. I've got a direct line contact for Henry, and he says he remembers me from the original days. His credentials are, from an IT perspective, that ClistNet specialised not just in parish council websites. He took a line in specialising in that when the 2014 Act became aggressive. But there were much larger concerns with ClistNet, including airports. I mean, when I visited them with Pat Bloss, Birmingham Airport was just coming online. So, they are competent, were competent. Henry is also, and has been for some time, chair of Broadcliffe Parish Council. It's a much larger concern than we are about 6,000 parishioners, it's important to know that Henry actually understands the legal requirement around website setup.
Can I just interrupt just a minute, because some of the things that you've said already about how it's all supported in that, there is nothing.
No, I know. If I go on,
there's nothing to actually say that we've got any of these contacts.
I know, which is why I'm just sharing this with people now, because I've only just recently found this out. Because obviously I had absolutely no control over the management side of it. I was just sort of a back-end person. He is the chair of Buckland Parish Council, so say, he understands the legal setup. He is involved in their website. As far as I can ascertain, there's a paid officer there. Entire presentation for them is a much more widely used concern. He says that the going rate for a new website, which would fulfil our needs and deliver more than we could probably use, is in the region of £1,000. He says he could set one up for us, but as a fellow parish councillor, he challenged me with the need to force this type of what he said was unnecessary spending on the parish in these harder times. The relatively small amount of work needed would give us, as a smaller parish council, what we need to fulfil the basic legal requirements stated in the 2014 Act and more. He did suggest maybe further training to use the site could be of benefit, but that was just something that was thrown away. I think it's also important to point out at this stage that the parish council spent £500 of public money paying the parish clerk, and I know it was 3 years ago, to make a significant amount of changes to the existing website for disability compliance reasons. It's important to point out that online parish council systems as government sites in an ideal world, and this is DALC advice, should be run and managed by a paid officer. However, it's also accepted by them that it's the parish council's responsibility how they choose to run these, provided that legal needs are observed, protocols not breached. Courses on social media, all sorts were recommended to me by DALC. I mean, that will go with the territory. What cannot happen is for a parish councillor to accept payment as a paid officer, which I think probably...
yeah. I mean, you know, I think this is obviously turning it right on its head.
May I finish what I was going to say?
Well,
is that okay?
I think you might have lost.
Sorry, can let Councillor Lowe finish, please.
What I suggest is that the agreed current proposal signed off of a new site could be simply postponed. I'm not talking about Scotch, postponed, pending ascertaining what we really need for compliance rather than what we think we want. I would suggest that the existing site is upgraded, which was suggested to me. Enhanced maintenance contract secured with X squared. Now, you're absolutely right. I believe nothing has ever been put in writing, and I think it was all done on a wink and a nod, and clearly that is not good. So an enhanced maintenance contract, which, you know, allows the odd phone call to be made if something's not working or something needs tidying up. It won't be that much more than what we pay already. I'm assured we have paid a fee. I think we paid £70 in the spring, £144 per annum. Henry suggested he thought we paid something recently, but I don't know. What I'm suggesting is that the recommended tidy up is carried out, and that we budget perhaps for no more than just £500 this year as a standalone to bring the site up to scratch. We currently have no webmaster. The current scope webmaster role, paying in the region of, I don't know, £1,500 or whatever it is per annum, it demands payment and a contract, as well as budgeting, I suppose, for pension, and will need to be budgeted for if we're going to fill it. All I'm saying is, in the short term, that I have the skills and 6 years of experience to enable me to run simply the social element of the website. I'm not an expert, but I can refresh my skills, and I suggest that despite my wish to relinquish the role some 16 months ago, which hasn't gone away, that wish, that I resume the old webmaster role within certain time limits. I can't give the parish what I did then. I don't have time. But sufficient to ensure the community element of the site is tidy and up to date. The diary is populated as best I can. The front page kept ticking over so the site doesn't seem neglected, which it has in recent times through no one's fault. And that statistical data is gathered over the coming months to ascertain what is looked at by viewers. And this is perfectly possible. I have done it in the past in a generic way, but past administrations gave me no instructions as to exactly what they wanted to know. Clearly, I would not be paid. I would in no way go near the mandatory parish council element of the site unless voted to do so by this body or instructed to do so by our clerk, whose responsibility this is. I have re-established a relationship with Henry Massey, and I'm very happy to expand this to ensure that Joe takes it over in the coming months. I'd obviously be working as a second to the clerk, but suggest that I should have the same super user powers, which means that I could step in time of need. I did so twice in the 6 years I served as webmaster, again at the express instruction of the clerk. Anyone using the website is perfectly visible to anyone else using the back end of the website, so no underhand activity could take place. I would suggest that the maximum time I did this would be for the next 12 months when we come to budget again, but the stats are first submitted in June 2024, showing monthly trends of access to the site and also my hours spent doing it. At that stage, it may be possible for the parish council to get a feel of exactly what is likely to be needed. If it's evident that there's a need for a webmaster, then the job description should be revisited, scoped and valued for budget purposes. The job will then need to be advertised and filled.
I think we seem to be going on. I mean, nobody's asking for the additional support with the website in terms of hours and things. What we want is a website that is usable.
Yeah, and
this would deliver that. I mean, you know, I appreciate, you know, you're offering support, but
it is a mess, and as you log
in, it's a mess,
awful.
yeah.
And that's the first thing people see, and all I'm
But-
offering is to tidy that
Yeah,
up.
but part of the problem that all of the people that I have spoken to, I've spoken to several companies now and a couple of local ones in depth, and they have all said unprompted, we're on the wrong package, we're on the wrong CMS, and that it would be far more advantageous for us to be on a much simpler content management system. And that will give us complete control over how we populate the website, and will give us a lot more ability to make it look and feel the way we want it to. And so, you know, what I've sent over is obviously based on those discussions, and it just feels like we're putting a sticking plaster over something that isn't really what we want long term anyway.
That is the intention, to ascertain how much is absolutely needed, because it may well be that with other social media that we might only need something very basic, which is what is
Well,
there at
we
the
know
moment.
what we need from a mandatory point of view, because we've got to have all our financials on there, we've
Yeah.
got to have our minutes, and we've got to have our agendas on there.
Yeah.
But everything else is up to us. And the other thing is, though, that our website is used by the community, because most
what,
of our...
sorry?
The website is used by the community as well, because most of the groups will feed their information into that website. So it's much sort of bigger, it's broader than just the parish council.
Yeah, because you're going to need to divide them, aren't you? And it always was.
Sorry, I thought you've been talking about this website was the parish council website. You're now saying it's all over everybody's website.
Well, everybody feeds their...
Sorry.
Yeah, it's always been the parish council website, but the people within the parish can post things up on there through the webmaster like fitness classes and things like that, dates for diaries and things like that.
Well, that's always happened.
Yeah.
That's always happened.
That's always happened.
Yeah, that's what-
Websites are the same.
Yeah.
Oh, they all do that same thing.
My question is, Joe, is how much is the websites that you've been looking at cost?
All the quotes yet, so
About?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't like to say a figure at the moment because I haven't got the spec to say
Right.
what we need. It is going to be more than that, undoubtedly.
Sorry, it's going to be more than what?
The £1,000.
Well,
all told.
we don't need £1,000. I was proposing if we set a budget for £500, that would buy the enhanced contract for a year, probably the bits of repair work, this, that, and the other, and it would just buy us time then to get. I was not for a moment proposing that it shouldn't change. I'm just trying to buy time.
Why are we buying time? Why?
Well, because we need to set budgets for this next year.
But at some point or another, Jane, we're going to have to get something new. And if it doesn't happen this year, it's going to happen the year after.
Well, we're not going to be
So-
spending £15,000, are we?
No, I'm
No.
not saying 15,000.
No,
I
but
don't think we've ever meant
We're already going to
15,000.
be budgeting, I would suspect, for a consultation, and I'm just trying to, all of that is going to go on the
Can I
project. I'm just
yeah.
trying to make life easier.
Thank you, Jane. Can I just, two things. There's a very proficient local young man who does it as a business as well. Have you spoken to him? Has he had looked at it? Now, what I can see is we need someone to look at it, give us a price, and then can we ask Jane?
I've got his.
Can we ask? Sorry.
I've got his
Can
proposal.
I finish? Can we ask Jane to talk to this person who runs this company to look at it and give a quote, so we can got some idea, because it's way above my pay grade. This is some idea what we're talking about to present to the parishioners.
That's what I've done.
Yeah.
That's what I've done.
Yeah, I was proposing a temporary measure. I wouldn't want to.
So have you contacted this person from Jane's whatever?
I didn't even know about this.
All right. Well,
No, and that is the problem. You didn't. Somewhere in the dim and distant past, clearly all of this got lost, and it was a bit embarrassing, really, because I tracked him down through the parish council route, and he phoned me up and he said, well, didn't you know this, that, and the other? And that's in recent days. And I thought, oh, well, actually, I didn't.
so you've got no idea at the moment, out of all the companies you've been talking to, including a couple in Buckland Brewer Parish, you've got no idea of cost at all yet?
A proposal. I'm not going to say now because obviously it's commercially
Fine.
sensitive.
Fine.
But I will share it after the meeting.
That's fine. So, decision we got to make is, what time schedule are you're saying it's not here on this thing, it's not within legality or whatever you're saying what it is. So how long have we got to sort this out?
Well, it's a case of it needs to happen pretty quickly because at the moment, if anything happens to it, obviously there's a contact now that.
Yes.
It's not a disaster.
It's not a disaster.
But
Fine.
the other thing is we can't upgrade some of the items. I didn't know about this person, so I've been trying to change a password for months.
So we can talk to him about passwords.
Well,
then.
I'm, as I say, I'm happy to make that introduction, so at least you've
Yeah.
got.
But what it doesn't do
Jane can
is.
give her information to Joe, and then Joe can carry on from there then, can't
Yeah.
he?
Yeah.
I mean, if I have a conversation, but what it doesn't address is what is being recommended about us moving on to a more user-friendly content management system.
I think we can do that.
I would think we need to give this man
Yes.
6 months. Our present supplier and talk to him and others perhaps and
Well, yeah.
and get it, we can't decide
No.
tonight.
Exactly. So I would have thought 6 months is plenty long enough, Trev. But yes, I'm interested. We've got to present to the parishioners what it's going to cost, because it's going to go on a precinct or whatever. we've got to be within the legalities of what clerk is talking about. So I would suggest that we have the clerk press on with getting quotes in, having people look at it, including the local ones, and then come back at our next meeting or meeting after with whatever is, but liaison with Jane on what the gentleman from Buckland is doing. He's on the parish council. There's something up and running just like that, which some might be linked in with us. But so I would suggest something in that context. Now, if anybody wants to tighten the proposals down, please tighten it down.
I mean, didn't we have any notification that the firm that we originally used was no longer available?
Well, they are still there, and so far as I can ascertain, David, and it was really a very brief conversation. Clisnet was the original firm with whom we created the relationship, and Henry Massey was their managing director. Clisnet now function as a thing called X Squared, and they are supporting our website in terms of keeping the firewalls safe, ensuring that the domain is kept live. But, you know, there was never any contract set up, and as I say, as in the past, I've got no idea. I didn't know there was no contract.
Sorry, Clisnet was formally wound up. It's because that was the source I looked at first of all on Company's House.
And they're now trading
And
as X Squared or something.
they're not linked on Company's House.
No, but
So you think, Jane, that they're actually still doing something?
they are. When I spoke to this fellow,
you wasn't aware of that, Jane?
He was actively looking at our website while I was speaking to him.
Well,
he said, "Oh, I can see it here, all here," and he was. Oh, okay,
Sounds
fine. You
very
know.
worrying if it's a completely independent company
Yeah.
and we've got no
Which is
ties
why,
with it.
Which is why we need to establish that relationship now. and
Which
just,
sounds like we
you
need
know,
a completely new one.
Well, have we been paying? I mean, for all I know about these computer guys is every 6 months or every 12 months they want money to keep it going. Have we been paying money towards it?
No, and interestingly enough, I was looking back through the accounts, and I too am bewildered. So I'm just trying to piece this together. But what I can see is that the invoices that were paid appeared to be presented through the parish clerk's salary at that stage, and I'm assuming that therefore it's because he paid by card, and then the parish council reimbursed him by. Don't quote me on that, but that appears to be what happened.
So anyway, we seem to be going round and round. So what, Joe? What would you like to do then? You would like to? Can we get you to get all of these people? We need someone to look at it and give it, or have you had someone look at it? Give a quote for doing the job of what we need, the standard we need.
Yeah. I'll have a conversation. I'm waiting for another quote to come in. As I say, I've got one proposal in already. I'm trying to get everything in so that we've got it for the budget, so that we know where we're going, and because it's got to be built
And you
into the precept.
you get the address or telephone number of this man from whatever.
If you show you those contacts.
Yeah.
Well,
And you've- you've also got a quote or it's a discussion with a local lad, John Hector.
Yeah,
down here, haven't you?
I've had that. Yeah.
Right.
So if you want to defer this decision, then if that's okay
Please.
with everybody,
Yes,
and
please.
then we'll bring it up again at the next meeting.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right. Let's move on. What am I looking at? Wrong pair of minutes now. Hold on a minute. Where are we? 147? 27. Oh, got it. Sorry, yeah, agenda. Gotcha. Yeah. I was looking at minutes. 146. Decision regarding the date of the next budget working group.
Just suggested a meeting in December, bringing forward rather than the fourth Thursday, perhaps meeting the week before, which is obviously next week, just in a bid to avoid the Christmas New Year period.
Yes.
But it's up to the council. But we have to either sign off the precept at the meeting on the 11th of January, or there will have to be an extra meeting in January to meet the deadline.
Can, that's what
Yeah.
we, so, yeah, that's right, Dave, that's what we've done before. Can we do that?
What, in January, 2 days?
Well,
Yeah.
well, you can have a meeting now before Christmas if you like, but no, that's what I thought.
January sounds good.
January sounds good?
So do you want to do it the same week of the meeting? Because otherwise we're,
11th of January,
yeah.
10th of January,
And then,
10th of
yeah,
January.
that's what, that's
day
the
is
first
that?
one.
That would
Just
be
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
That'll be Tuesday.
I suppose
wouldn't it?
we have to.
No, when's our meeting? Sorry.
Sorry, the 10th of January is our Wednesday.
Wednesday, innit?
Yeah.
Meeting.
I think what we've done in the past is that we've had the first meeting when we look at the kind of budget, and that's the only thing we've done. And then have another meeting later on the 4th
That's right.
Wednesday, and that's what we've done.
That's what we've done, yeah.
Which would make sense.
And the budget meeting's been on the 4th January, isn't it? The 4th week of January, yeah.
When's the deadline?
Late, that's too late for the deadline. So if we meet on the 10th of January to go through the budget,
Yep.
Which is a Tuesday.
which is, no, it's the Wednesday. Sorry, that was my fault. I had the dates wrong. So you would then have to meet sometime during the week of the 15th, the
Yep.
following week, to sign it off. So you
10,
could perhaps bring forward the 4th Thursday meeting to the 3rd Thursday, if that works for everyone. But-
Yeah, can I just ask, is that going to impact planning decisions? Will we have time, if any planning decisions sneak in between the 17th and the whatever it is of February, is that going to?
Let's
Well,
pass,
it will
let's
be
pass that when it comes.
Okay.
Let's cross that when it comes.
Okay.
You could put planning on the same agenda, couldn't you?
Yeah.
And then if it, yes or no, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter, you can pass it.
Yeah.
So you're thinking of the 18th then, Joe?
Well, the 18th is when you've got to sign off.
Right, okay.
So it'll be
That
the
will be your
17th.
deadline.
You want it before that?
17th.
So, and you've got a normal council meeting on the 10th of January.
Yep.
So do you want a working group meeting after the council meeting on the 10th of January?
We're going to have to, aren't
We're going to have to, aren't we?
Well, it's either that or we have yet another night, and
We could,
we? I'd rather.
Bang on.
Yeah.
Bang on. Right.
so we just bring our sandwiches and our
Yeah.
flasks.
what, do it on
Is that all right with you? Yeah.
Yeah.
10th. And then, yeah, bring me sleeping bag. Is that all right with you,
Yeah.
Joe? Right.
And then the 18th, it would be ratifying the budget.
Yeah.
On the
and
8th, you
form-
said 17th. On the 18th now.
That would be ratifying the budget and also formally signing it off in one go.
And that would,
In that,
and that would be enough time?
yeah. As long as you're all comfortable with that, yeah.
Yep. So it's the 10th and the 18th of January now?
Yeah.
Yep. Brilliant.
Okay.
Job done. Proper job.
And forgive me, I'm sorry if I sound like a pedant, is what we're doing adequate from the perspective of public visibility? Will that be enough?
It will be fully visible because you will be presenting your budget and you will be basically making a decision to accept it
Okay.
Yeah.
Magic, thank you.
on the 18th.
Good. Thank you.
And this place is available.
I'm looking at it, yeah, it looks like it.
Don't you turn the spanner in the works.
Very good response.
Right. Members' reports. Can I start with David?
No,
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we had our second surgery. Kath and I had it. Not so much of a take-up on it this time, but I think we're in winter months coming up to Christmas. We'll try an evening one in the new year at some point.
Tell me, just a matter of interest, on these surgery, you don't keep notes or anything, do you? I mean, do you know what?
No, I do keep notes, George. Absolutely right. And anything that of any interest, I bring it back.
You bring it
because
back to us.
I come back to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly the same as I do with the Facebook as well. If there's anything of interest
I
on
see.
there, I bring it back to you.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, right. I just, it didn't matter. I just wondered.
No secrets.
Right. You finished?
Yeah, I'm finished.
Yeah. Kath?
I had a parishioner call me about Thornhead-Moor. I think you discussed it briefly, Joe, earlier. It was about the amount of dog mess on the moor, and people are even putting putting the poo in dog bags and then chucking it on the moor, which is just, she's absolutely fed up with it and said it's really bad, and said about needing a bin of some sort. And Joe, you've just replied and said there isn't anything. Would we be able to get a bin, like buy a bin ourselves then and put up there? If I could go back and ask whether or not they would be prepared to empty the bin on rubbish days and things like that, is that an option? I'm just to ask.
I think you just leave it. If it's in a big area like that, if there's dog mess there, it's there. As long as they don't put it in the bags, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think that's what's been happening, isn't
They
it?
are, they're putting it back.
Yeah, but
they're chucking it on the grass.
they don't want to do that. Just leave it.
But the thing is when people going out and they're taking their dogs, and people that live on Thornhead-Moor, they're taking the dogs out and they're stepping it. It's everywhere, it's very pleasant, isn't it?
Well, you want to try driving across my footpaths on my fields?
I was going to say, who is it not cow dung? You can't. There's 40 or 50 bullocks up there.
Exactly.
You know that you can't.
Well, does your parishioner know the difference?
You can't. You know.
Farmers.
Oh.
You just think that.
Delete it.
You're having a short intermittent.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all very well asking for dog bins, soap bins, every other bin the parish council got to pay, but not everybody goes walking up on Thornhead-Moor and all the rest of it. So what they're asking.
It's a dog bin of some sort, but unless we wait until the new year and see what we come back with.
So what do people do in towns then with dogs? They pick it up and take it back and put it in their bins, don't they?
Well, there is in Bideford and other towns. They've got lots of dog bins.
So
there,
if they pick it up, they can like the jumping car and take it back, put in dog bins around here, can't they?
I've seen lots of people in cars. They put it on the back windscreen wipers, don't they? And the bags, don't they? And they do that. I've seen that. Followed that quite a few times.
Tell me, Joe, did you say that the council do not pay for any dog bins? Is that what you said just now?
Well, at the moment, we haven't paid anything.
No, not us. Torridge or whatever.
Torridge pay for all
Dog
the
bins.
waste collection, yeah.
No,
As
do
far
they
as,
pay for the bins?
I believe so, but
Can we ask Torridge then if they could put a dog bin, did you say?
Yes, that would be preferably.
Could you,
I don't.
What happens with all the rest of the common land in the country?
there's dog bins around. There's a lot of Dartmoor. There's
Well, I'm
on the
sure
edges,
there is.
on the edges.
I'm told by a former parish councillor that people with their plastic bags hang them from the trees all the way up Gorwood Road.
I can show you down my river down there. Yeah,
I've not
yeah.
seen
Yeah,
Well, I can show you one now hanging up if you want to. Anyway,
you suggesting that they supply a bin, but the parish council pays for it?
no, they pay for it.
Oh, no, they're not. They won't do it. They're not installing any new dog bins.
Yes, that's what you said earlier, isn't it?
Yeah,
So what you're saying is we're going to have to pay for it. How much is a dog bin?
we'll find out.
Can you find out, please?
Well, I don't think we should anyway.
I'll put out on Facebook again about, please, I did the other day, down by the hall was been a lot of people, and I didn't catch him in the process, but as I walked around there and it was clean, and then one of the workers who brings their dogs to work, there was something in the middle of the lane when I came round, and of course, unless I'd got the actual evidence, I couldn't really say anything. But I think we'll have to put something out on the Facebook again about people need to be picking up. It's really bad down there, but I do think it's a few of the builders, they've got dogs they bring to work, and no word of a lie, there was something there after he had just walked around the corner, and he wasn't there before. So whether something can go down to Pierce's and Alison Holmes and just say, if you've got dogs and you bring them to work.
I mean, there is a dog bin right there.
There's a
on
dog
the-
bin right there.
At the top as you're going
Yeah.
in from the main road.
Okay.
That's where that was. And there is a lot of it there.
Yes, I heard that today.
Yes.
I got a dog my boots when I opened gates on my place. I drove on the roads. Jesus Christ. Right, so where have we got to on that one?
I finished your turn.
No. What were we doing with a dog bin? How far did we get?
I'm just going to find out how much it costs if the
Yeah.
council wants to buy one.
That's it. Thank you. Right. Right. Now you've stirred up the trouble. We carrying on?
Sorry, yeah, your turn.
Gate on
Yes.
the parish council.
Bring back dog licenses.
All right.
I agree.
Enough? Finish? Oh, right, okay. Right, yeah.
Not only 17.
I had a parishioner had a go at me, but when Geoffrey Cox, we are apolitical in this parish council. We are apolitical. On the levelling up, he was pushing for a lot more money for area, which he seems to have got, for potholes. And there was a petition going around for people to sign up for get the potholes done. Has anybody ever seen the petition?
I haven't.
Sorry, a petition.
There was a petition. He wanted a petition so he could present to Parliament about potholes in North Devon, in his constituent.
He talked about it at the
Yes. Yes,
village hall when he done the
he did. Yes.
This was the.
Geoffrey Cox, yes. Geoffrey
I
Cox.
scanned the letter on and forwarded it to everybody.
So I missed that, Joe. Do apologise.
I forwarded the copy of the letter to all the councillors after the meeting. No, I must confess I've not done anything with the petition.
Is there a petition going out?
Well, there can be. He wants there to be a petition.
All right. Can we put your wonderful Facebook? Can you put someone out, please?
I can certainly do that for you.
Thank you.
It's got to be physically
Be physically signed.
Yeah.
It's what?
Got to be physically
Yeah.
signed.
He's going to present it in
So
Parliament.
how do we do
there
that?
must be a-
How do we get this? How do we get this signed?
Oh, all right.
But he needs to just tell his mates.
No. Listen.
Give him more money.
Yeah, it got to be found somewhere, David. There's 47 billion been spent on furlough. Now tell me, how can we organise this petition?
We've got to print it off and make it available for people to sign should they so
Yeah.
wish.
How do we do that?
You could leave it in the shop.
Shop or the village hall?
Look at the dates as well, because I think some of the dates were tight, weren't they? In fact, one of them we had to send. One
So
of them's passed, hasn't it?
What are you saying? Is out of date? Is it?
No, there was something that had to be back earlier, but it was pretty tight, wasn't it? The
Right.
dates on it were pretty
There was-
tight.
There was one by the 30th of November, but I didn't believe it was the pothole.
No.
Yeah.
So can we? Whoever can print out this petition, can we shove it in the? Can somebody put it in the?
If I can find it, do you want me to do that?
Please.
I don't mind doing it and putting it in the shop if it helps.
That's brilliant.
I mean, we could print it off probably, or print sheets or whatever.
Yeah, it needs to be printed off and put somewhere where people can go in and sign.
For potholes. Yeah.
Yeah. So are you going to do it or shall I do it? I don't mind, Trevor.
Well, I can copy it, but if you do whatever you think is necessary, form or whatever you like to call.
We'll put it on Facebook.
Brilliant.
It's on there
Yep.
in the shop.
I'll find the physical form and I'll print it off and stick it in
Thank
the
you.
shop. And I'll send you a copy. Maybe Brenda can.
But we can do A5 or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's.
Can I leave you two sorted out? Brilliant. Job done. Thank you. Right. Next one. Yes, Northwood Lane, but that has been your last paragraph where you said you've asked Alison Holmes, it's about health and safety, about those barriers. So thank you for that. I've got a letter from a young man who put in my...
Hang on a minute, you've finished the mem, or is yours?
No, I'm still going on. I'm still going on. I'm still rolling on a roll. I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll. And I dropped in my, a young man called Simon Adamson came to ask you if there's any parish council got any land available to rent. So I said I'll find out what days, when annual review comes around or when ground comes up for rent or whatever. But my question is there any fields apart from Hymns Peace? Are there any fields that aren't rented, and when do they come up for renew, Joe?
There aren't any fields available to rent. They're all leased at the moment, aside from Hymns Peace, which obviously you'll talk about later. The existing lease agreements are just rolling leases. So unless the council or the existing leaseholder breaks the lease, they just continue indefinitely.
Fine.
And both parties have to give a year's notice.
Right. And going on that point, is not members, I will just ask, when do rent review prices increases come up for renewal? On every year or every 3 years? Every 5 years?
They haven't so far.
There must be a date in the agreements of rent reviews, or we'll have to look at that.
We'll have a look at
So you have to
separately.
give a notice to say.
There is a rent review. Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. Anyway, we'll discuss that. Yeah, fine. Oh yes, I've contacted highways, whatever. I try and get these people as impossible. I've got a salt bin that can be put in Hill Park. I've approached the village hall, and they kindly said we could put it, you know, where the lorries could drive in and get it, and everybody pitch it up there. I approached the council again, and they've told me that they can't do that because it's not. Don't ask me why. But trying to get on and talk to these people. So at the moment, it's still up in limbo. I'm pushing hard, and I'm trying to get they to say where they will put it in Hill Park.
Is it because it would be going on private land?
You got it.
Yes.
You got it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm pushing on that. Thank you. That's me done. Jane?
Yeah, very quickly, the benches, I've spoken to our volunteers who agree that trying to drive benches out in this weather in a bus shelter is a bad idea. So we're going to revisit
I
this,
think we should,
in Easter with the hope of the weather being drier. But incidentally, it's come to me secondhand that good old Phil Slocum's interested in helping as well. So
Brilliant.
so we've got all sorts of people.
Brilliant.
The other one is, I must admit, it sort of, I nearly fell off my chair. You know, I was pursuing this matter off the bus and an extra stop down in Hill Park. I will circulate all the correspondence, but one landed in my inbox literally at 5:30 tonight. I had got an answer that I didn't like, so I just pushed back again. And the response came back confirming that the bus would very much love to go down to where the community hall is, the parish hall is, and it's perfectly capable of doing a U-E and come back out. But none, absolutely none of that road is adopted, and I've checked that twice, and I was quite amazed by
Flabbergasted.
that because I think it's not adopted.
Which bit of the road?
All of it.
All of it.
All of it.
Absolutely all of it. The main road's in right down.
Not just the new
past
development.
Not the new bit, because I said, no, I don't mean going down there. I mean, no, it's not been adopted.
According to this bloke.
What I suggest in the short term is I'll go back to basics and I'll have a discreet word with Paul Knox and
Of
say,
Pierce's.
look, Paul,
The builders who did it.
yeah, who did it originally, because I mean these conversations go years back, and I'm sure that Paul thought it had been.
Yes.
So I'll just pick up the phone to him and say, what do you know about this? I will come back to the next parish council and
Brilliant.
because
Brilliant.
I have a feeling that there could be an issue.
It was supposed to have been adopted the year after we moved in, and
Yeah.
a neighbour only mentioned this to me about 2 months ago,
Yeah.
that it hasn't been adopted, and they have said that if there is a dispute between Pierce's and the utilities and Torridge, and for whatever reason something is not to somebody's liking and they will not sign it off. But this hasn't been notified. A resident found that out by accident off the back of something completely different.
It's interesting because County Council said to me it's got something to do waterworks, and at the time I thought they were talking further down in Lower Abbott. So I'll have a brief conversation.
So they
with
do
Paul.
come in and pick the rubbish up, don't they?
Well,
How can they do that?
yeah, as I say, there are cans of worms there, so I'll just have a discreet word.
All road have been adopted since 1947, so you've got a few years to go yet.
They got agreement for the waste collection very early on, and it was supposed to be adopted in May 2018, I believe.
Yeah.
And this bun fight's been going on ever since.
All right.
On an encouraging note, though, and as I say, I will forward the mail exchange to everybody. There is political will to do it. If we can get the road adopted, there is political will to do that, which is good.
Brilliant. Thank you. Anything else?
No, that's
Thank you. Trevor?
Well, I got a picture here which shows the marvellous job that the people, pothole fillers, do. That was taken the next day after they'd done the job. 3 men turned up and brushed the water out of the puddles, scat a bit in, got back in the van, probably went round the corner and had a smoke. But that was...
I know, I saw.
It's a process, that is, you know.
It's going to be out within a week, isn't it?
What
Go
what
on.
I did say, Trevor showed it to me a very short while ago.
Just what I was going to
Sat
say.
down and I went into, I don't know whether anyone else did the online consultation with the leader of the county council, and there was a fair bit of complaint about that type of thing from other parish councils, and he said that if that happened and we let them know, he would force them to go back, because he said that's public money, so I think we should.
So
There was
can
one,
we-
there's one just up a little bit further
Yeah.
that I saw the chap do it, and he left after.
Well, poor
Sorry.
workmanship, and Hart won't tolerate it.
No.
He'll make them go back for
So
nothing.
can
and
we-
do it again.
Can-
I'll let Joe
Joe,
have this one,
Joe.
and then she can send it off
Yeah.
to...
Is that all right, Joe?
Art.
Because
Thank
you can attach pictures to the
Yeah.
reporting. So
there
if
a
you
date?
can send me the picture.
Is there a
I'll
date
send it
down?
off.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well done, Trevor.
And oh no, not the time. The 29th of November
Brilliant.
was.
Brilliant.
And one more thing, have we given permission for the school to put this thing up in their field?
Oh, the yard.
A yurt
Yeah.
or whatever
Yeah,
it
is
is.
Well,
this for
it-
Christmas?
It's,
Is this for
it's
Father's
not
Day?
permanent, is it?
No.
Isn't it a woodland or something?
No, it's like a marquee type thing. It's
Yeah.
A yurt.
A
They're
yurt,
called yurts.
right.
Mm.
Because
So what's it for?
I don't know.
And they
Oh,
use it
they
for-
said it's for the
Forest school.
Oh.
forest
School.
school, but I mean, it's going to kill a hell of a patch of grass. You know, they've got like a tarpaulin on
On
the
the
floor.
floor?
You see, so that's dead.
Been up for about a month, isn't it?
Yeah.
Been up for about
Yeah.
a
And then we know how long they're going to be having for?
How long?
Yeah, how long are they going to do it for? So do we ought to ask you to send a letter, inquiry letter, and it is damaging grass and they'll be liable for reseeding, and have they asked permission and what length of time?
I thought we transferred it to the school, don't we?
Sorry?
Or well, no, it's still ours,
It's
isn't
a
it?
lease, yeah.
Yeah. The field belongs to the parish council.
But it is.
I was-
isn't
So
it?
it's on a lease?
And you should ask permission. I was approached a little while ago. They wanted to put a polytunnel up, but asked if they could put it up in the allotments. And I said the allotments were all leased. There's no available space. And I said, would you like me to ask whether you need, you can have permission to put it up in the field? And I've not heard anything since. But then, like you, I've noticed the yurt appear.
That's been there about a month.
Yeah. I'll write.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Because, it is,
There's trimmings. Sorry.
we've got permission to use the field when the school's not using it anyway, so, like weekends and stuff. So, if we got the general public in there, they
Oh
could
yeah,
have
if there's
fun
an
with that
event
one.
or something. Yeah.
We ought to point that out to the school perhaps, and, watch out.
I did notice as well along the path there that somebody's cut all the wall. I guess it's you know, they've taken off all the stuff off the wall and they've just left it. That's been there for a couple of weeks now. And nobody's come and picked it up, and that's on the school wall down the path. But I don't know who should pick that up. I guess that's has to do with the school, isn't
Cut
it?
it off.
It must
Yeah, you ever cut it off?
Yeah,
The school, yeah, it was
it
the
was the
school.
school. So perhaps we could enclose something on that about that too.
I'll perhaps have a word.
Because you want to, yeah, proper job.
Oh, I didn't realise.
That's me.
Sorry.
Okay, right. District Councillor's report, not here. Right, new planning applications, 149A, East Steel Buckland Brewer, roof over existing livestock gathering, loafing area and silage pit.
He must have covered just about the whole yard.
Lord, I would think so, yeah.
Is this the one that was?
I don't
There's
know.
another one.
Another one, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I thought it was the same one.
Two more roofs on the planning.
Yeah,
Do we want to see it, or it's all right with me?
that's all fine with me.
We can't see it from your end, that's it, from the start.
Fine, so all in favour?
Yeah.
Support?
Yeah.
Yep. Accounts, receipts and payments for November/December 23, A. Oh, that's your.
Right, there's hardly any change really from last month because there's not been an awful lot in or out. So balances, cash book balance is £25,873.53. Bank balance is slightly higher because there are some outstanding checks. So overall, the consolidated amount is 67,503 across all accounts. Now, for the benefit of councillors, I've not adjusted that Thornhill Head Moor savings figure from what we discussed. That's still as is at the moment, okay? We've had no payments out since the last meeting, because it was only a couple of weeks ago anyway. And actually, we have had one receipt. I just had the statement today, so not updated it. But I noticed the pro rata payment for the master money is in. So that was £706. But I'll update that on the next one.
706.
706. That's just the pro rata payment for because we'd agreed to the technology being upgraded this year.
So that goes on
So
top
it's
of
just for a few months, and then we will have our full annual payment on
Right.
December statement.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. There is one invoice that I need council approval for because it's not approved at the moment. So there's a hedge trimming invoice in, and the reason for raising it is threefold. One, it's payable to a councillor. Two, it wasn't pre-approved work, although we know the work's been done. And three, it relates to the previous financial year. So the invoice is for £105. So I just need agreement to pay it, basically.
What was trimmed? What was hedges trimmed?
I don't know.
It was the playing field and the allotment hedge.
Black horse?
No.
No.
Up here.
Oh, up here.
The playing field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the allotment edge.
Yeah.
And the allotment
Yeah.
hedge.
Right.
Sorry, can I just ask a question? Why has it taken so long for the invoice to come in when we're in a different financial year? Couldn't tell me.
Who is it? Who done it?
Oh, right, I don't know.
Don't know.
Joe,
Do you know who done it?
do we know why it's taken so long for the invoice to be put in? I don't know who did it, and why wasn't it pre-approved?
Was Councillor Mills?
Oh, sorry, Councillor Mills said he didn't know. I didn't know it was to Councillor Mills. I didn't realise it was you.
It wasn't me.
Oh, it wasn't you.
No.
Oh, right, so it wasn't Councillor Mills. I'm confused now.
Wasn't me.
So who cut the hedge?
I thought. So, because it's the invoice you handed to me last meeting.
Yes, well, I had it handed to me and said, here's a bill for the work I've done.
So, who's
It's
done that?
not me, brother.
Sorry.
Would be brother.
Oh, Richard.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Okay. Right.
But if you're going to get funny like that, we should do that in committee.
I only asked, I didn't know who done it, that was, it doesn't say up there, that was all, so I was only asking.
Yeah. Well, no, it's still valid though, even if
Yeah.
it's not to a councillor. So my
Sorry, can
apologies. I thought it was your invoice.
Can I just clarify who that remark was aimed at, of people getting funny? Who was that remark made at, Joe or me or Kath or all
Just
of us?
the council.
No, I was asking a legitimate question of who, why it was so late in, because normally invoices are put in within a financial year, and that's quite a legitimate question. And secondly,
Well, it's in the financial year, isn't it?
no, it's not. Last February would not have been in
Sorry,
the
when was it for?
financial year runs between April and
Sorry.
April. Yeah.
When was it dated for?
Well, the invoice is dated the 20th of July.
Yeah.
It says the work was carried out on the 27th of February, and it was handed to me at the last meeting.
All right, well, these things happen.
But I mean, it's still legitimate because the work hasn't been pre-approved. So is everybody happy for that invoice to be paid? It's just
Yeah,
my
unless you
question.
want to get out there with a hook, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, going forward then, would the council normally pre-approve those invoices? I don't.
We always have, the playing field, have we or have we not trimmed the hedges for the playing field? The parish council? Have the parish council trimmed the hedges of the playing field? Because they should be.
Sorry, when we're talking about, sorry,
The,
which
to
field
put
are
the
we talking
record
about?
straight,
Up here.
Up, I presume. Oh, this one up here. Go on.
I think it was Richard Hoover and I don't know if it was Andrew or me. We was both.
This is pre-election then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was asked if he would trim the hedge, and that was.
Yeah. So the council have agreed to trim that hedge.
Yeah,
There was someone said
the
one man.
Buckland hedge was causing an issue like it is again.
Oh, tell
the
me about it.
tops.
Yeah.
So we said, when he was there doing the playing field, if you fret that edge off, the council will pay.
Right, so I've got you now. So the whole council said, yep, that's fine, go ahead with the work. That's fine then.
Fine.
Is that right, Joe?
Right.
Bringing it to here because I couldn't find it. It was authorised. That was all.
That's fine. If it's been
That's fine.
I guess we in future. In future, I guess we need to have that discussion, don't we? Really? About
Well, I thought it was.
Yeah.
Councillor Mills has just said it has been discussed.
You're talking about the previous parish council meeting. I'm sure, the previous parish council. And it was done before February the 2nd, because you've got to do everything before February the 2nd. And if it was agreed, it was agreed.
Yeah. You need to do it anyway.
Yeah.
It sounds like it might need doing again.
Right. Any other? Sorry, Joe. Have you? How far have we got? That's it.
Apart from part two.
Okay. Right. There's no further business. I declare this part of the meeting closed. We move on to part 2.
Yeah, good idea.